1988, for 110 years, this was the county jail. It was originally built 4 cells down on either side, 4 cells up on either side, 16 cells total. And I'm sure in 1878 they thought, well, we'll never need more than 16 cells at a time. By the 1940s and 50s, they doubled up the cots in the cells, so you could put as many as 32 inmates in the cell block. And by the 1970s and 80s, they were putting cots out here, so that you could put as many as 40 people in the cell block at the time. By 1988, the overcrowding led to a need to put a new jail in, and that new jail was built up on US 42, and we're still using that. Don't wander just yet into the cell blocks. We'll get there in just a minute. Hold on, let me finish my spiel before you wander off into the blocks. A couple of quick notes before you go back there. One, the painting you see here on the walls, all this design work was done by the inmates. This was the most recent painting in the mid-1980s. You'll notice Truth and Justice. If you look very carefully over here, someone has misspelled Judge Krieger's name. It says Kruger's Truth instead of Krieger's Truth. At that time, Judge Krieger would have been the municipal court judge. He was then general division common pleas judge here for 25 years, but just recently retired a few years ago. Inside the cell blocks, you will see on the cell walls the pencil artwork that was left there by the inmates in 1988. It is the greatest display of mid to late 80s, actually late 70s to late 80s metal bands that you've ever seen. They were big fans of Megadeth and Aerosmith and AC/DC and I'm forgetting the others, but you'll see plenty of others in there. You will also see a great number of choice 4-letter words and a fair number of anatomically correct drawings, many of which might not be appropriate for the younger members of our audience. So folks, if you're here with your kids, make sure you take a peek into the cells, individual cells, before you take the kids in there. If you're going up, note, open catwalk up here, so be careful if you go up to the upper level, but you are free to go up there. You'll note the table here, where those boxes are over there is the pass-through into the kitchen. And that's where food would have been passed through on trays after it was done. Over here, the soul shower. People often ask about toilets. You'll see now there's a toilet at the end of each hallway, but you'll also see in the cells a hole at the bottom. And that hole is what all this plumbing connected to. There were toilets in the individual cells as well. They've just been removed since the jail was closed. So take a look around, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you.
I was on grand jury and they were having lunch